Namaste everyone. I am C.H. Ramadevi, working as social studies teacher in DAV Public School, Dr. NTTPS. Today I am going to explain lesson number 1, India Relief Features from class 10th. Today our topic is India and its relief features. Let us know about what is meant by relief features. The different landforms which are existing in our country are called relief features. We have a wide variety of landforms in our country like mountains, plains and plateaus. Before entering into the lesson, let us know about the location of our country. Generally, how do we locate a country or a place? You might have studied about this in the previous classes. We have two imaginary lines called latitudes and longitudes. The lines which are running horizontally are called latitudes and the lines which are running vertically are called longitudes. By checking these lines, we can locate any particular country or a place. Now coming to our country, India's location, our country is located in the northern hemisphere. As we know, equator divides the earth into two equal parts. To the north of the equator, it is known as northern hemisphere, and to the south of the equator, it is known as southern hemisphere. So, our country is located in the northern hemisphere. The latitudinal location of our country is 8 degree 4 minutes north latitudes and 37 degree 6 minutes north latitudes. Coming to the longitudinal location of our country is 68 degrees 7 minutes east and 97 degrees 25 minutes east longitude. By all this we can say that India is located in the northeastern part and it is in Asia continent, and the southern part of India is very close to the equator, so the climate of these areas are hot climate. Come to the time zone of our country. The latitudes and longitudes not only helps to locate the place but also to know about the time of a particular place. As you all have learned in the previous classes, that 0 degree latitude is called as equator and 0 degree longitude is called as prime meridian or Greenwich longitude, which passes through London. It takes 4 minutes for the sun's position to move 1 degree of longitude. This means that the time is different for each degree of longitude. When we are traveling from west to east, we gain time of 4 minutes to cross every longitude. At the same time, if we are traveling from east to west, we lose 4 minutes to cross every longitude. As our country is located between 68 degrees 27 east and 97 degrees 25 east longitude, almost all we have 30 degrees extension. If we take an example of Arunachal Pradesh, which is in the east side, the sun rises first in this state, and by the time comes to Gujarat, we will have a time variation of 2 hours. So we are getting 2 hours of variation in the same country. So it becomes very difficult to people's daily activities like flight timings, train journeys, etc. So to avoid this kind of confusion, the central longitude, which is passing from the center of our country, that is 82.5 east longitude, is taken as the standard meridian of India, which passes near Allahabad in our country, and coming to our Andhra Pradesh, it passes through Kakinada. To our Indian Standard Time is 5.5 hours ahead of Greenwich Mean Time, and India measures 3,214 kilometers from north to south and 2,933 kilometers from east to west. The geographical location of India provides vast diversity in climatic conditions and a variety of vegetation. We have a long coastline around 7,516 kilometers, enables trade route and fishing. Now, let us know the geological background of our country. According to the continental drift theory proposed by Alfred Wegener of Germany, world landforms are originated from two giant lands called Hangara and Gondwana. The Indian peninsula is a part of Gondwana land. Millions of years ago, Gondwana land split into the pieces and peninsular Indian plate moved towards the northeast and collided with Eurasian plate. Between Angara and Gondwana land, we have a big sea called Tethys Sea. Because of the compressed force of Tethys Sea, raised up higher level and got freeze and formed the present day Himalayas. So, Himalayas are nothing but a water body formed with external force of Angara and Gondwana land when they were compressed by the earth plate movements. From the Himalayas, we have the origin of perennial rivers. Now tell me, what is meaning of the perennial? Which originate from the Himalayas and they never dry up. They continuously flow throughout the year from January to December. These rivers like Ganga, Yamuna, Brahmaputra starts their journey from the Himalayas and moves towards the respective lands, and while passing they carried a lot of mud, sand, soil and filled the land of northern part with these sediments. These lands are called Great Plains or the Northern Plains, which are very good for cultivation. Now let us discuss about the major relief divisions of our country. The Himalayas, the Indo-Gangetic Plain, the peninsular plateaus, the coastal plains, the deserts and the islands. In the previous, we have discussed about the how Himalayas are formed, the geological process and the background. Now let us see what are the Himalayas present. The Himalayan ranges runs in the west-east direction in the form of an arc about 2400 kilometers, and their width varies from place to place, like 500 kilometers in the western regions to 200 kilometers in the central and eastern regions. As they move onwards northeast, the width goes on reducing. Himalayas are the young folded mountains of the world. The Himalayas are divided into three parts. The first part is known as Greater Himalayas or Himadri. The average height of Himadri range are 6,100 meters from the mean sea level. All the highest peaks like Mount Everest, Kanchenjunga, K2 are found in this region. This completely covered with snow and ice around the year. We found glaciers here. The seasonal cycle of accumulation of ice, movement and melting of glaciers are the sources of perennial rivers. Example, the source of river Ganges is Gangotri Glacier. We will study about this in the coming lessons, Indian rivers. The second division of Himalayas are Lesser Himalayas, found towards the south of the Greater Himalayas. These are also called as Himachal. The Lesser Himalayas has rugged relief, it means rough surface, with compressed rocks. This region height is from 3,700 meters to 4,500 meters. The important ranges of this Lesser Himalayas are Pir Panjal and Mahabharata. The famous valleys located in these regions are Kashmir, the Kangra and Kulu in Himachal Pradesh. The famous hill stations like Shimla, Mussoorie, Nainital, Ranikhet are exist here. The common feature of this region is the entire region is covered with evergreen forest, the forest which never dries up. Because of this perennial rivers present in this region. Next, the third division of Himalayas are Shivaliks. Here, the Shivaliks are the southernmost range of Himalayas over a width of 10 to 50 kilometers and the altitude varies between 900 to 1100 meters. By this, what we can understand is, as we are moving from higher altitude to lower, these Shivaliks are found. The Shivaliks are called by different names in different regions. They are called Jammu Hills in Jammu and Kashmir, Mishmi Hills in Arunachal Pradesh, Kachar in Assam. These parts consist of their gravel and alluvium which was brought down by the perennial rivers. The valleys lying between the Himalayas and Shivalik ranges are called dunes. The good example for dunes are Dehradun, Patli Dune, Kotli Dune, etc. We will continue the remaining lesson in the next class. So meantime, dear students, please take down today's assignment. Draw the India map with exact location and extent and mark the Indian Standard Meridian.